the negative yet, so let me work one of these with you. Write this one down. Okay, so this one this is a difference of the two terms instead of a sum. So there are a couple of options, but I'll just show you the way that I do it. It still works the same way. The first term gets all of it. Now, you have a couple of options. You can do the second term as -1 and then do plus on everything, which I don't do. I don't do that. What I do is keep the number like it is and do plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. So when I have a negative there, I alternate signs. Okay, so this would be then 3x to the third, 1 to the first, plus 3x squared, 1 squared, minus 3x to the 1, 1 to the third, plus 3x to the 0, 1 to the fourth. So you can make the -1 and put plus, plus, plus. Doesn't really matter. I like to do, now assume, when I'm talking about alternating signs, this is plus assumed out here and then minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. So some people said, do you start with a plus? Well, depends on where you're saying start. This one is always positive, but the first one you write is negative. So if you're talking about start, I'm talking literally from the first. That's positive, negative, positive, negative. Now go ahead and work this one all the way out. I'm not quite sure. Double check me. Always check yours. right, any questions on just doing this when there is a difference between the two? Okay, so let's look on page 130 at number 8. So this one, they want you to expand this. And then, hence, expand this. Okay, so go ahead and do this one first. And then we'll talk about what to do with the next one. Is that what we got when we expanded the first one? Okay, so then all they want you to do is now just expand this. So you're literally just going to distribute and combine like terms. And you can check this one as well. type in the original with an x plus 1 times x plus 4 cubed. Now, when you see this, what do you think a mistake would be of a student who wasn't really stopping to pay attention to the problem? What do you think they would do that would be a mistake? Yeah, go ahead and FOIL. So what some people are tempted to do would be do x squared plus 5x plus 4 and then cube that. Okay, don't do that. Why do we not do that? There's a specific math rule that tells us not to do that. Yes. You would never do 2 times 3 to the 4th and tell me 6 to the 4th, right? Okay, you wouldn't do that. Please excuse parentheses, which that doesn't mean these, that means inside. Exponents, then multiplication. So when you see ones that look like that, do not FOIL first. All right, did I get the right answer on that one? Okay, so you can check those. Any questions on that? Okay, so let's look at number 10 at the top of the next page. This is a very, very common type of problem that they'll put on the exam in May. The coefficient in this problem, the coefficient of the x to the third is 1372. Find A. So, we got to trust the process. So, this time it's like Jeopardy. They've given you the answer, you have to give them the question. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing, but let me show you what's extremely important here. So we're going to trust the process. Where am I going to stop? Do I have to do the whole thing? Oh, that should be a 2. And that should be a 2. Do I have to do the whole thing? No. Why? I can. It's going to be time consuming. It's not necessary. But why do I not have to do the whole thing? What is the only term that they're interested in? No, the x to the third. Didn't they say, now this is what I'm trying to find, but A's in all of these. I don't have an interest in all of those. I don't even have information for all of those. They told me that the coefficient of the x to the third term is 1372. So do I need this one? Is this an x to the third term? Nope. What about this one? What is this one? Just, what's the variable? Just x. What is this one? X squared. There it is. That's the one that I want, right there. I don't want that one. So, there's a couple of things that you have to be very aware of that you're going to make a mistake with. First of all, you're going to do this. What's wrong? It's a cubed x cubed. Second mistake. Now, let me show y'all this. It said 1372 is the coefficient of this. So can I write that? But can I write that? Because it says 1372 is the coefficient of the x cubed term. Okay, my x cubes drop. So can I just take the cube root of a cube root of 1372 and get my A. Try it. Let's see what you get. Yeah. Is it a pretty little number? No. We forgot something, and I did it on purpose.
Yes.
What did we
Got it.
forget?
I got the whole thing. I did it just now. But the NCR.
We forgot to get Pascal's number beforehand. This, all I did here was the expansion part. Remember step 1 and step 2 yesterday? All I did here was step 1 and step 2. The most common mistake when you're doing something like this is you want to jump straight down. You still have to put Pascal's number in there. So, now hold on. How am I going to find out what Pascal's number is? The NCR. Now, let me show you, because this is going to help you tremendously. What would I put for my NCR on this term? 4C, what? 0. This one would be 4C. This one is 4C. This one is 4C. This one is 4C. Can anybody tell me the pattern that you see here? There is a pattern. The exponent of the second term is your R. Okay? Look, the exponent of the second term, 0. NC, 0. The second term's exponent, the second term's. So what you can do, if you want to write it out, and I would advise that you write it out, but you don't have to do all these, type in 4C3, or if you know that's 1 and that's 1, this is going to be 4 and this is going to be 4. So this is actually 4A cubed. 4A cubed equals 1372. Write a big note in red up here. Don't forget Pascal's number. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. So what are you going to do now to get A by itself? Divide by 4, so that gives me 300 and now you take the cube root, so A is 7. So now you found the A.
Yeah, I thought I messed up because I did square root instead of cube root. I got 7 square 7.
Oh.
7.
So where's 342?
Alright, when I divided by 4 to get the 4 right here, that gave me the 343 to get the A by itself. Okay. Any questions on that one? They like to do that. You're going to see some of these next week. I'm going to try to almost wrap up this section. I'm going to wait and give a test when we get back after a day or so of review. So next week we're going to spend a large majority of our time going over past test questions to reinforce logarithms, binomial expansion, all the things that we've done so far. All right, the last one that I want to work with you is number 12. They want you to find the coefficient. What does coefficient mean? Yeah, the number in front. Find the coefficient of the x to the 6th, y to the 6th term in the expansion of 2x plus y to the 12th. Write that down for me, and I'm going to work with you. So, do we have to do all of it? No, but I would advise you writing it out until you see it. You don't have to do anything past that. That won't matter. So I've got 2x. It gets all of them. Y gets none. That's not an x to the 6th, y to the 6th, is it? Okay, so we got to keep going. And And I've got a pretty good ways to go. Okay. Now, if I look up there and I do my power to a power, I see that the last term that I wrote was an x to the sixth, y to the sixth. So this is the one I'm most interested in right here. Okay? Everybody's following me so far? So we have to expand this first, right? So that's going to be 2 to the 6th, which is 64. 2 to the 5th is 32. So what do I need to not forget? Pascal's number. So how am I going to find out Pascal's number? Well, this is NC, this is 12C 0, so this one would be 12C 6, which is a big number. Now I know I'm not multiplying that out in my head. So what is the coefficient of the x to the 6th, y to the 6th number? 59,136. That's the coefficient. No, they're not bad. They're problems that I expect y'all to get at least the majority of the points for. There's really only so many ways they can change this up. And I've got 3 papers pulled for next week already. Of course, we won't work all of them because we haven't covered all of them. The only other kind that they do, that they will give you, they like to give you an x plus 1. I'm not going to work this one. And they'll ask you to find the coefficient of the x to the 3rd term. So you do this, and then you go back, and notice they almost always give you a 1 right here, so that doesn't change this expansion. Does that make sense? So then you have to go back and just expand that and add the 2 up. So that is really, and you'll see some of that next week, that's really the last of the kind that I've seen consistently on these types of papers. So any questions? Any questions so far? Okay, let's go ahead and wrap things up for today. Get ready for the pepper